you all thought I was just being hyperbolic when I said they were the greatest choir on the planet. I wasn't joking. They are the greatest choir on the face of the whole wide world. I don't care what anybody says. They are awesome, dynamic. I give thanks that they continue to provide the soundtrack for our spiritual transformation. Right? It's not just a performance. Hear me. It's not a performance. It's facilitating the transformance. If you will just let how God moves through them to touch places that the word cannot touch. But there is a message in there that's deep and rich, and I hope you got yours, because I sure got mine. I'm so excited about this series. I love the Dream series. Whenever we have an opportunity to come back to this staple series, it encourages me because, like many of you, I'm always working on what is next as God continues to move us along the continuum from where we are to where we are to be. And one of the things that God does is he continues to give to each and every one of us a dream, a vision, a goal, some glimpse and insight into the great that is to be. And so the principles contained within the Dream series have served as a major catalyst for the manifestation of many dreamers and their dreams. The seed idea for the Stellar Awards came forth from this series. Yeah, that's a good thing. Members have started successful construction companies because of what they heard in this series. Folks have restored the vitality of their bodies because they were what they heard in this series. Many have been able to recalibrate the flow of their abundance because of what they got from the Dream series. Some people went back to school and completed their GHD or anything from there to their PhD because of what they received in the Dream series. Some members have traveled the world over because of what they learned in the Dream series. And some members have established nonprofits that are intended to help humanity because of the seed they received from the Dream series. And so the principles are consistent no matter what the aim of your dream is. It doesn't matter if it's your finances, your relationships, your health and fitness, your family time, your leisure time, increase in your business or better relationships on the job, fulfillment of your purpose. It does not matter the aim toward which your dream is pointed. The principles are the same. And so during this series, we will share some things with you and help you break down the dream process into steps and then give you some micro steps that can help you move from where you are to where you ought to be. And so according to our bulletin, we start with this question: what is a dream? You see that? Let's take these 3 bullet points together. A dream is a work assignment offered to us by God. A dream means a deep desire to do or be. A dream means to... Yeah, I should have just let us read it right from the bullet points, right? You see me how to interject the dream is in there? I want to make sure y'all read it right. Right, I mess up and blame it on you. So again, I just want to encourage you and invite you to dust off the dream, to bring back the image, to bring back the picture, to bring back the vision, because God has given each and every one of us a work assignment. Now, let me just take a moment to be Captain Obvious. Whenever there is a work assignment, particularly when the assignment comes from Spirit, you do have the option to not accept that assignment. There are many people who are living frustrated lives because they continue to say no to what the Spirit of God is trying to lead them to. And so you can say no. You may not have any peace, but you can say no. Your joy may not be full, but you can say no. Your opportunities may not be as plentiful as you would like for them to be, but you could say no. But if you say yes to the possibility, then something new opens up because of what God wants to do through you. But remember first that the dream is a work assignment. Say work assignment. The Apostle Paul wrote a letter to the church in Thessalonica. And in this letter, there was this one statement that I found to be incredibly profound, and I find it to have deep implications. And it's a very simple phrase. It says simply this: those that don't work, don't eat. And so if the dream is a work assignment that is given to you from God, and if the apostle is correct in his assessment, if we don't work, then it's possible that we won't eat. But now let's take a radical inversion of the perspective, because if we do work, then we will eat. Anybody hungry? So if you are someone who intends to eat and eat well, let me just invite you to take hold of the dream that is connected to the work assignment that God has given you. See, God will give the birds their food, but he won't drop it in their nest. So we have to be willing to prepare ourselves to not only work the steps, but to work the micro steps. See, every step has within it micro steps that are intended to give you very specific actions that you can take, very specific actions that you can take, very specific actions that you can take to move your life from where it is to where it ought to be. I hear somewhere in the scripture the writing say, faith without works is dead. So you can affirm all you want. You can pray all you want. You can go to class all you want. You can show up at church all you want. At some point, you have to get up from there and you have to act on what you know. Are you with me? Dreams come true, the founder says, when we know what to do. So we have to be willing to act on what is being presented to us. I love the story of the salesman who was having dinner at this hotel. And as he's looking out the window at this blizzard, he could barely see 20 feet in front of himself from where he was. And so he turned to the waiter and he asked the waiter, "Do you think the roads will be clear enough for me to go out and make some sales tomorrow?" And the waiter said very nonchalantly, "It depends upon whether or not you're paid by commission or salary." Because if you are paid by salary, then the roads might be closed. But if you don't work and you don't eat, your motivation might be different. Are you with me? So then the dream emerges from the deep desire that we have to do and to be. It emerges from the desire, and this desire comes from the Father. And now I'm not trying to make you believe that the attainment of the dream will be easy. I'm not trying to make anybody believe that it will be all downhill. I'm not even trying to convince you that there is a magic formula that will give you the ability to snap your fingers and it shows up. It's going to require some work. It's going to require you to do some things that you wouldn't otherwise do. That's why they say it's never crowded along the extra mile. Who's willing to go the extra mile? It will require the best of you so that the best that is within you can come forth from you. Are you with me? Sometimes it's working through the challenges of manifesting the dream that make us somebody that's worth being. Not only that, there will be many legitimate reasons and excuses why your dream shouldn't be. All valid, all well substantiated, solid reasons. Are you with me? Solid excuses about why it shouldn't come to pass. But I want to encourage you to not let that be what stands in your way. Not only that, some people are going to reject you because you dream. Some people are going to leave you at the point of the hard work. Some people are going to talk about and against the manifestation of your dream. And I just want to encourage you to go ahead anyway. I believe it was Walt Disney who was fired because they said he had no creativity. A guy who made us want to spend big money to spend time with the big mouths, they said had no creativity. Jay-Z said one of the most genius things they did when they were trying to build Rockefeller into something is he said they kept saying yes to themselves every time a door closed. And so I'm not trying to make you believe that it will be easy, but I do want you to know that the work assignment is possible. Are you still with me? So then this work assignment is the fulfillment that denotes that we will have acquired something of tremendous importance. So are you invested in reshaping your life? Are you sure with that response? By show of hands, are you invested in reshaping your life? All right, that's who I'm looking for. By show of hands, are you motivated to bring forth your dream? All right, that's what I'm talking about. All right. So then if you're invested, and if you're motivated, and if you intend to bring forth the dream, it's time to shake loose the monotony. Say, I got to shake loose the monotony. It's time to shake loose the melancholy. Say, I got to shake loose the melancholy. It's time to remember that the dream comes to you as a seed of what is possible. So it's coming to bring you back into the disposition of possibilities thinking. When it comes to you and your dream, you have to be a possibilities thinker. How many of you know that before 1930, there was no such thing as a frozen food section? How many of you know that if you had been the one who dreamed that into manifestation, your life would be substantially different? Possibilities are all around us. The only question is, can you see the possibilities? So now, if you really get what I'm saying and you understand that there is a law of mind in action, then the only thing that is keeping your dream from coming into manifestation is something that is within you. And if it's something that is within you, then you have the power to transform and change that which is within you so that you can create something new outside of you. Are you still with me? The prophet Habakkuk said, write the vision and make it plain. So if your dream involves you no longer being broke, write the vision. Make it plain. If the dream involves you having healthy relationships, write the vision and make it plain. If the dream involves you going back to school, write the vision, make it plain. Whatever it is, write the vision, make it plain. So here's what I want to just show you real quick, because sometimes there are things that actually hinder our dreams. Generally speaking, there are two things that hinder the dream. The first is, put this in your notes. The first thing is this notion that there is not enough. The second is the notion that I am not enough. There are generally two things that stop us from manifesting our dreams. The idea that there is not enough, or the notion that there is not enough, and the sense that I am not enough. I want to give you a tool to work with. Every time you find yourself questioning your dream, I want you to go to John 15:1-8, and I want you to read this to yourself. It reads this: I am the true vine, and my Father is the vine grower. He removes every branch in me that bears no fruit. So when some things that bear no fruit wind up falling out of your life, don't complain. Know that sometimes God is in the cutting it out business. Every branch that bears no fruit, he prunes to make room for more fruit. So there will be a pruning process that you have to prepare yourself for as you are going through this dream series. Let me just say something to you. If you think you can stay the same at this point and on the other side of your dream, you are sadly mistaken. There must be some radical transformation that happens in your soul if something radical is going to come forth from you. And so there's some things that just must be cut away. There is some pruning that must take place. Are you okay with it? He goes on to say, you have already been cleansed by the word that I have spoken to you. Abide in me as I abide in you, just as the branch cannot bear fruit by itself unless it abides in the vine, neither can you unless you abide in me. I am the vine, you are the branches. Those who abide in me and I in them bear much fruit. Say much fruit. Much fruit. Because apart from me, you can do nothing. Whoever does not abide in me is thrown like a branch and withers. Such branches are gathered and burned. But if you abide in me and my word abides in you, ask for whatever you wish and it will be done for you. My Father is glorified by this, that you bear much fruit. So it is the Father's good pleasure. So for you to have an abundance of every good thing. So whenever you find yourself thinking about your dream and you're confronted by the facts, remember this: it is the Father's good pleasure for you to have it abundantly. Now, here is the problem. Many of us are still being piloted by an 8-year-old. Here's what I mean. If I was sitting on an airplane waiting to take off, and the pilot came out of the cockpit, and if an 8-year-old was the person who came out of the cockpit dressed in the pilot's uniform, I would be mortified. But for many of us, that 6-year-old or 7-year-old or 8-year-old who was told no time after time as you were walking down the aisle trying to put stuff from the grocery aisle into the cart, put that back, we ain't got no money for that. Can I borrow the car? No, you can't borrow the car. Get out of here, wait till you get your own car. We have been conditioned by no. And I'm saying to you that the 8-year-old you, for many of us, is still piloting our soul, telling us that no, telling us that there is not enough and we are not enough. And I'm telling you, it's time for you to grab that 8-year-old by the hand and put it in his car seat and tell him, I'm driving now. Are you with me? It's time to overcome this notion that you do not deserve, or you should not have, or you cannot have. It's time to let that go. Because you are connected to the branch that is connected to the vine. And you ought to have it abundantly so. Are you with me? Some things just hinder us from having our dreams. Once you know that you are enough, and once you know that there is enough, then it's time to put some specificity around your dream. It's time to get specific. Are you with me? So one of the things that you have to do once you move past this idea that there is not enough or you are not enough, you've got to put some specificity. You've got to get specific. Or as Emmett Fox says, you have to get definite with the infinite. Are you with me? You've got to see it very clearly, because a clear consciousness cannot bring manifestation through a muddled mind. Are you with me? You've got to be able to see it clearly. I remember being in the Faith Chapel one evening, and Reverend Carey was leading a session with the leaders. And as she was teaching us, she looked clear through the room. I was sitting on the back right side, and her eyes landed directly on me. And she said to me, "What do you want to do with what you're learning?" And I had not thought about the question. Are you with me? Meaning I had no answer for her when she asked me that. Now, she kind of bust me out in front of the whole room, made me look silly. But what it forced me to do was get specific about what I wanted as I was being moved down this particular path. Are you with me? Now, how many of you know that there were some highs and lows in between what I said yes to and what actually happened along the way? There were moments wherein I was thinking it couldn't be possible. There were times where I wasn't even here. Can I be 1,000? But because I was able to get specific, I began to consistently hold to what was to be, even though it didn't show up. Are you with me? Let me give you a quick exercise. Let's do this quick exercise. So I want us to read together what's on the screen. Let's take this together, all right? Finding downloaded files is the result of days of unscientific research combined with years of stored data. All right, we got that? Okay, so next what I want us to do is, our instructions are I'm gonna put this up for 10 seconds. I'm gonna put it up for 10 seconds, and I want us to count how many times the letter F appears. You with me? All right, so let's put it up for 10 seconds. How many times did the letter F appear? By 3. No, those of you who say 3. All right, that's almost half the room. How many of you say 4? Wait, some of y'all raising y'all hand twice. Stop it. How many of you saw it 4 times? There you go. Thank you for being honest. How many of you saw 5? How many of you saw more than 5? All right, very good. So let's see how many there actually were. So there were actually 6. So here is the point. Here is the point. When it comes to what we see, there is often a subjective reality. Right? There is often a subjective reality. We read it based upon where we are. But the fact that you do not see it does not mean that it is not so. So I'm just wanting you to see the fact that the dream does not appear in this moment does not mean that it does not exist and is not already so. So if you commit yourself to taking these steps and to taking the micro steps, what you will find is that there are things that appear that are already here to help you. See, what just happened is we just experienced what is called structural tension. Whenever you have a dream, hear me, whenever you have a dream, that dream presents some structural tension. And structural tension is simply the difference between what we see as possible and what we're actually experiencing. Now, your brain or your mind does not like for there to be a disconnect between what you see as possible and what's appearing. So here is what we do. Stay with me. Here is what we do. We either give up on the dream, or the dream becomes real to us, and we begin to see powerful manifestations that are consistent with the dream. I just want to let you know right now, where you're sitting right now, once upon a time didn't exist. It only existed as a dream. Are you with me? So the fact that there is structural tension means that either you have to give up and quit, or you got to get busy making the dream manifest. Are you with me? And so I just want to invite you to say yes to the desire. I want to invite you to say yes to the possibility. I want to invite you to say yes to what God is planning to do through you. So why is desire so important? Why is desire so important? We say that desire is God tapping at the heart of our soul, trying to help us see what's available. And so desire is the dream in the embryonic stage. It's the seedling, it's the possibility. It is to grow into something, but you've got to be willing to let it get some time to take root and grow. Are you with me? Just because it doesn't appear doesn't mean that it isn't so. Desire, if we were to break the word down, means of the Father. Is that right? And so when we're talking about a desire coming to us in the form of a dream, we're talking about that which God is implanting in the souls so that we can do something radical with what we have been given. See, here is what I know about you that you may not know about yourself. You are a radical creator. You have power to bring forth out of what appears to be nothing, something dynamic, something powerful, something innovative, something creative. And when you say yes to the desire, there is something that moves in a way that you are not aware of. See, God is always wanting to move you from where you are. He's right in this very moment trying to do a new thing through you. But you've got to be willing to take the ride. Are you with me? You've got to be willing to trust that the Father knows what you have need before you even ask. And so desire is a deep and intense willingness to excel. See, desire meets you at one level so that it can pull you to a new level. I want to get you to see what I'm saying. Let me say it to you this way. Because there was this, you heard me tell this story before. There was this preacher this pastor preacher who would take new members to his church out. And there was this one new member who, when he came to the church, the pastor took him out to this boxing match. When they were at the boxing match, as the fighter squared off in the center of the ring, one of the fighters made the symbol of a cross with his gloves. And the new member leaned over to the pastor and he said, Pastor, what does that symbol mean that fighter just made? And the pastor said, it don't mean nothing if he can't fight. See, desire is what God gives you. What we do with the desire is what we give God to work with. So if God gives you the dream and we do nothing with it, we are not giving God anything to work with. But I'm telling you that you have something to work with that can help you manifest the health you've been praying for. I'm telling you, you have something to work with that can help you manifest the prosperity you want. I'm telling you, you have something to work with that can help your relationship move from mundane and mediocre to happy and joy-filled. I'm telling you, you have something to work with that can fill any church up, because there are more people needing help and needing to understand the truth than we can ever imagine. We just have to be willing to work with the desire. And God needs some folk who are willing to work with the desire. And so it's dream manifestation time. I want to just invite you to get that dream and get it down in your soul. I want to invite you to knock the dust off of it, because it's time for you to take your life to another level. I'm not concerned about how many years you have behind you, because if God is before you, there's a new possibility. Doggone Colonel Sanders established Kentucky Fried Chickens in his 80s. After being told that he doesn't have a good recipe for chicken. So it's not over until you win. It's not over until your dream is made manifest. It's not over until you take hold of the desire and you take the steps and the micro steps so that you can live out of the richness that God has prepared for you. See, he is the vine and you are the branches. And you are supposed to bring forth fruit and bring it forth abundantly. So no more little bit. It's time for increase. Open your mind up to receive what God has prepared for you. God bless you.